Have you ever felt the adrenaline rush of a death-defying hike? These aren't your typical hiking locations. In fact, these hike locations are full of bone-chilling heights and treacherous rock faces that will test your limits. With that said, are you ready for an amazing climbing experience? Huayna Picchu, Peru. Near the Inca citadel of Machu Picchu, we have a mountain called the Huayna Picchu. Hiking there is not just difficult for rookies, but is a challenge for even the most experienced hikers out there. This is because of its steep inclines, those hard-to-navigate trails that are so narrow that it might make you feel claustrophobic, and there are some sections in the track of this mountain where hikers have to use Incan staircases, which are old and made from granite. It takes hikers roughly 46 minutes on average to complete because this 1-mile-long hiking track that loops around the top of the mountain. Probably the most dangerous part of this hike is how steep and slippery these narrow sections of the track are, and one wrong step will make you fall to your demise. Using these old Inca staircases will get you up to around 1,000 feet above ground to a route that is full of crumbling rocks and slippery stones. Sometimes, clouds form around the hike to make things difficult. On this extreme hike, hikers have to grab those old steel cables for dear life. Hikers say that going up is the easy part, coming down is what haunts them. The Maze, Utah, United States. In Canyonlands National Park in Utah, we have something called the Maze. This huge and wide area is not recommended for new hikers because even older, more experienced hikers have had trouble there. The reason why this hike is so difficult is because of the difficult terrain, the extreme weather conditions, and the huge risk of getting lost in there because this area is nothing but red rock. And to make things worse, there are frequent rockfalls and flash floods in the area. Since this terrain is extremely challenging, only those who are extremely fit can finish this hike. There's also a point called the Golden Staircase Trailhead, the area where hikers get to glance at the canyon below before moving downhill on a path that is full of rubble and other challenges. Before you head down there to take the challenge head on, we should warn you that because this area is remote, you have to make sure you're well prepared because not many people go there to hike, and it could be days before anyone does cross your path and be able to help you. The last thing you want is to be stuck over there because of whatever reason, especially without any essential supplies, so carrying your own food, water, and something for shelter is a must. Mount Huashan, China. Mount Huashan, located in the Shaanxi province of China, is one of the 5 sacred mountains in China. Huashan is known as the most precipitous mountain under heaven, and lies on the influential Taoist temples. On Huashan, you'll find a 12-kilometer trek that stretches up to 1,800 meters, which took about 300 years of effort to build. The hike starts nice and easy with its green, winding path, but then, the real trail starts, and arguably the most famous part about this whole hike is its plank wall. You can only imagine how frightening it is to be walking on an extremely narrow floor made of wooden planks that you have to pass sideways, while you're approximately 2,000 feet above the ground and on the side of a cliff. This hike also has lots of narrow paths, steep staircases, and sections with a vertical ladder to climb up to the next challenge, disqualifying more hikers so that the rookies quit. You'll know you've reached 2,000 meters above ground when you come across a tea house on the southern peak of the mountain, which is also a place of religious importance, filled with pilgrims, monks, and nuns. But be careful, because there have been reports of 100 people falling from the narrow wood floor every single year. Everest Base Camp, Nepal. The Everest Base Camp, located in Nepal, is considered difficult not because of its terrain, but because of some other reasons instead. While the trek itself might not be hard, it's the altitude that makes it almost impossible for people to keep going. Everest is 80 miles long and usually takes people around 12 days to complete. Now we come to the part that makes this hike so hard, which is the altitude. Because the altitude there is so high, the oxygen levels up there are almost half of what you get at sea level, which makes you take every single step with a lot more effort. It's common for people to start feeling sick because of something called altitude sickness. The challenge hikers face in this area is not physical, but mental instead. Hikers might have to experience delays and find themselves stuck at the airport for hours because of extreme weather. They might suffer from headaches and other illnesses related to the high altitude, and might even have to deal with very cold temperatures, bright sunlight, and narrow suspension bridges, which is why people usually prepare themselves before going, both mentally and physically. Dragonburst Grand Traverse, South Africa. The Dragonburst Grand Traverse is roughly 250 kilometers long and makes its way between Drakensberg Mountains in South Africa and the landlocked country of Lesotho. This area is known as one of the hardest hikes in the world because when you decide to try it, you won't find any markers over there. This concept was started by Gavin and Lori Robbenheimer back in 1999, and the only maintained trails on the route are the first 5 kilometers out of Sentinel Car Park. So then how do you finish the trail? To complete this whole trail, one has to go through some waypoints, with the first being making your way down to a long and steep slope through a chain ladder at Sentinel Peak, Summit Montauk's Sources, Summit Cleft Peak, Summit Champagne Castle, Summit Mafadi, Summit Giant's Castle, and Summit Tabana Tlanyana. This trail requires you to be thoroughly prepared, and you should know what you are getting yourself into. You also need experience to be able to go through the rugged terrain and extreme weather conditions through an area that is not even marked, so you'll need to be able to navigate using maps, GPS, and other online sources. Devil's Path, New York, United States. The Devil's Path is located in the Greene County section of the Catskill Mountains of New York. This is known as the most dangerous hiking location around the world because it puts massive amounts of strain on the body with its steep climbs. This steep path comes with rocky terrain, rock scrambles, exposure, and sections that require advanced hiking skills to pass through. This place got its name because this trail is known for its demonic-like features that challenge hikers to perform twister moves on the mountain. The Kokoda Track, Papua New Guinea. The Kokoda Track, located in Papua New Guinea, is another tough track that will take you days to cover. It is a single-file trail that runs through the Owen Stanley Range, beginning at Owers Corner in Central Province, and finally finishing in the village of Kokoda in the Oro Province, making the whole track to be 96 kilometers long. Trekkers usually have to go through a green jungle with steep and steady terrain and harsh tropical conditions. People going through the track often have issues with slipping on the grass, muddy trails, and because of the unpredictable weather there, you have no idea what's coming your way and making your journey awful. Fun fact about Kokoda: this track has historical significance because this was where the battle between the Japanese and the Australian forces was held back in World War II. Which one do you think is the most dangerous hiking location? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be always updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.